Alone in the wilderness, a pregnant German shepherd struggled against nature's cruelty. Hungry, weak, and on the verge of collapse, she was ready to give birth. Just when it seemed hope was lost, a forest ranger arrived, and what he witnessed next was nothing short of a miracle. Before we start, make sure to hit like, share, and subscribe. And really, I'm curious, where are you watching from? Drop your country name in the comments. I love seeing how far our stories travel. Alone, a pregnant German shepherd trudged slowly through the undergrowth, her sides heavy with life, her paws raw from days of wandering. Each step seemed harder than the last, yet she pressed forward, guided only by instinct. Her eyes, once bright, now held exhaustion and hunger. No trail of humans, no warm shelter, no familiar voice called her name. Only the wild, indifferent, and unforgiving surrounded her. In the shadows of the trees, danger lurked, coyotes, cold nights, and the gnawing emptiness of her stomach. Still, within her carried a fragile hope. The unborn lives depending on her strength. Days bled into nights, and still the German shepherd searched for safety. Hunger clawed at her ribs, each breath shallow, each step slower than the one before. The forest offered little mercy, scraps of berries, a few insects, and the cold bite of river water were all she could find. Yet her spirit refused to surrender. When darkness fell, she curled beneath an old fallen log, her body shivering as the wind whipped through the trees. She pressed her swollen belly close, instinctively shielding the lives within from the cruel chill. Every sound made her ears twitch: an owl's cry, the distant howl of predators, the crackle of unseen movement. Fear gnawed at her, but courage pushed her to endure. The wilderness demanded sacrifice, but her heart beat fiercely. With determination, she wasn't just surviving for herself anymore. She carried a promise inside her belly, a promise of new beginnings, fragile, innocent lives that had to see the light of day. The night of the storm came without warning. Clouds swallowed the moon, and rain lashed against the earth like a thousand needles. The German shepherd staggered into a small hollow between rocks, her body trembling not only from the cold, but from the contractions gripping her sides. The time had come. Lightning split the sky, illuminating her silhouette as she lay down on the damp earth. With each push, pain and determination twisted together, her breath sharp and desperate. Minutes felt like hours, yet her instincts guided her, ancient wisdom flowing through her veins, urging her to fight through the agony. One by one, tiny cries pierced the roar of thunder. Fragile puppies, slick and trembling, came into the world. She licked each one fiercely, pulling them close, warming them against her own body despite the storm's cruel assault. Her eyes glistened with exhaustion but also with fierce triumph. Against every hardship, life had found a way. She curled herself around her newborns, her body a shield, her heartbeat a lullaby in the storm. The storm raged deep into the night, and with it came the steady hum of an old truck crawling along the muddy forest path. Inside sat Ranger Daniel Hayes, a man hardened by years in the wilderness but softened by a heart that never ignored suffering. His flashlight cut through sheets of rain as he scanned the trees, searching. He had been alerted earlier by faint cries echoing across the hills, a sound not of wild predators, but of something far more fragile. His instincts pulled him forward. Parking the truck, he trudged into the storm, boots sinking into the sodden ground, his breath steaming in the cold. Then, in the flicker of his beam, he saw her. A German shepherd, drenched and trembling, curled protectively around a cluster of tiny, squirming puppies. Her eyes glowed with a mix of fear and defiance, teeth flashing at his approach. Daniel froze, lowering his light. He spoke softly, his voice steady against the storm. "Easy, girl. I'm not here to hurt you." Daniel crouched low, letting the rain soak through his jacket, making himself smaller, less threatening. The mother dog's growl rumbled in her chest, but he noticed the tremble in her body wasn't just from aggression, it was from exhaustion. She had fought the storm all night, fought hunger, fought fear, and still guarded her newborns with every breath. Slowly, he removed his glove and stretched out his bare hand into the downpour. The cold bit at his skin, but he didn't move. His voice softened, carrying warmth even as thunder rolled overhead. "You're safe now? I promise." The German shepherd sniffed the air, ears twitching, caught between instinct and desperation. One tiny puppy squeaked, wriggling against her, and something shifted in her eyes. She didn't lunge, didn't retreat, just stared at the man kneeling. Before her, mud streaked across his face, offering nothing but patience. Daniel took out a small piece of dried meat from his pack and placed it gently on the ground. The dog hesitated, then inched forward, hunger overpowering her fear. It was the first fragile thread of trust, fragile as glass, yet strong enough to keep her from pushing him away. The wind howled through the trees, but for Daniel, the world had gone quiet. Every heartbeat echoed in his ears as the mother German shepherd finally stepped closer. Her fur, slick with rain, clung to her ribs, each movement betraying how weak she truly was. Yet her eyes never wavered, still sharp, still protective. Daniel lowered his gaze, avoiding direct eye contact, and let the dog come to him on her terms. When her nose brushed his outstretched fingers, it was fleeting, just a second of contact, but enough to send a rush of relief through him. She didn't attack. She didn't flee. She was listening. Slowly, Daniel unrolled a blanket from his pack and spread it on the ground near the pups. The dog's ears twitched nervously, but she didn't move away. Her body swayed as fatigue pulled at her, yet her trust, however fragile, kept her rooted in place. One by one, the puppies squirmed toward the warmth of the blanket. The mother gave a low whine, then finally sank down beside them, her body curling protectively around her litter. For the first time since he had found them, Daniel saw her chest rise and fall with something closer to peace. Daniel knew time was slipping away. The storm was growing heavier, the forest floor turning into slick mud that threatened every step. Carefully, he wrapped the puppies in the blanket, making sure they were warm and shielded. Their tiny squeaks pierced through the rain, each sound a reminder of the fragile lives in his care. The mother dog hesitated when Daniel reached for her. Her body trembled with exhaustion, but her instinct to protect never faltered. Daniel knelt low, speaking softly, promising her safety with every word. Finally, with a deep, resigned sigh, she allowed him to guide her closer, though her wary eyes never left him. With the pups bundled against his chest and the mother limping at his side, Daniel began the long trek back toward his ranger station. Every step felt like a battle. Mud clung to his boots, branches whipped at his face, and thunder cracked overhead. But the thought of saving them gave him strength. At one point, the mother stumbled, nearly collapsing. Daniel stopped, steadied her, and whispered, "We're almost there." Her ears twitched, and she pressed on. Together, man and dog moved through the storm, bound by a silent pact. Neither would give up until the family was safe. When Daniel finally pushed open the door to the ranger station, the warmth inside felt like stepping into another world. He set the blanket of puppies near the fire, their tiny bodies wriggling as life slowly returned to them. The mother dog collapsed onto the rug, her breathing heavy but steady, her eyes never leaving her pups. Daniel worked quickly, drying each puppy with a towel and making sure they were warm. Their cries grew stronger, no longer fading whispers but sharp, determined sounds of survival. The mother, gathering her last strength, crawled forward and nudged them close, licking each one with tenderness. In that moment, Daniel realized he wasn't just witnessing survival. He was witnessing a miracle. As dawn broke, sunlight streamed through the window, casting a golden glow over the small family. The storm had passed, leaving the world outside drenched in quiet, but inside the ranger station, there was new life and hope. Daniel sat back, exhausted yet overwhelmed with gratitude. He knew the wilderness could be cruel, but on this night, it had also revealed its quiet grace. Against all odds, the German shepherd and her puppies had survived, and in saving them, Daniel felt something inside himself heal too.